This is a great way to get into designing your own clothes without having to start from scratch. I'm seeing everyone making quilted coats right now. And I love the idea of creating one out of a thrifted quilt or blanket that you find because upcycling is awesome. So that's what we're gonna do today. So we're gonna take these quilted blankets and turn them into this amazing coat. This is going to be a real adventure today. We are going to create the coat from scratch. We're going to merge a few patterns together. We're going to dye this fabric, and there's going to be lots of tips for tailoring and designing garments, along with all of those special finishing techniques. So come along on the sewing adventure with me and let's make a quilted coat. The first thing we need to create this jacket is a pattern. But rather than design my own pattern, we're gonna do some pattern hacking today. This is a great method for designing your own looks without having to do a bunch of pattern drafting from scratch. And I know you have piles of patterns laying around from that $1.99 sale. So let's take a look at my sketch and figure out what patterns I can use to make this jacket happen. So looking at this jacket, I noticed that I have a waist seam. So I know I can use a bodice pattern for the top and a skirt pattern for the bottom. I want a really full skirt, so I'm gonna go with a circle skirt bottom for the bottom of my jacket. And then for the top, this looks like my zipper jacket pattern I just designed. So I'm gonna be using my zipper jacket pattern for the top and a circle skirt for the bottom. So take a look at your patterns and start envisioning what tops and bottoms can go together, or maybe you have a top you love and you can just extend the length and make it into a jacket. I pulled down my zipper jacket pattern and my circle skirt pattern, and now we need to make sure that these are going to fit together. So let's do some measuring. The first thing we need to measure is the waist of the pattern because we need these two pattern pieces to join together. So I've cut the patterns out in my size, and now I need to measure the waist of my top and the waist of my skirt. So I've measured the waist of my top and it's 10 1/4, and I've measured my skirt and it's 7 1/2. So I want to make my skirt bigger because I do not want to make my top smaller. So we have a difference of 2 3/4. So I need to add 2 3/4 to the skirt pattern here. And the easiest thing to do is just add it to the side seam, just extend it out, and you can either blend it into your hem or you can add it evenly all the way down your pattern, depending on the look you want for your skirt. So I'm going to extend this side 2 3/4. So I'm going to tape some paper here onto my pattern and extend it. Since it's a circle skirt, I can just extend one side and we're going to be good. You can do this with a lot of different skirts as well. So I've added my extra 2 3/4 so that way it's going to fit in the waist of my bodice. Since our jacket has buttons, we're also going to need to add a button extension. So I'm going to extend my pattern an additional 2 inches so that way I can add buttons. So I added my button extension, and this is the space where your buttons and buttonholes go where the fabric overlaps. I like big buttons and I cannot lie. We're also going to add the button extension to the front bodice. So I'm going to extend that 2 inches. And just like that, we have a place for our buttons on the bodice too. And now both of our patterns are going to match up and sew beautifully, plus our button extension. I'm also going to measure my back bodice piece and my back skirt and see if I need to add anything to either one of those. And if I do, I'll go ahead and add that. And there's no buttons on the back, so we don't have to worry about that extension. So I measured the back, waist, and skirt, and I needed to add 1.5 inches to the skirt at the waist. Now I know my pattern pieces are going to fit together. Merging patterns is that easy. There are definitely more complicated pattern pieces out there, but if this is your first time doing this, keep it simple. Try a pattern with just a few pieces first. So I have one more piece to extend. Because I've extended my front for a button extension, I also need to extend my collar for a button extension, because if we take a look at my design, I also have a button there. And I finished that, so my collar is all extended, and I grabbed a pocket pattern with a flap, because I want some big old pockets on this jacket. Now that we have all of our pattern pieces ready to go, it is time to carefully lay this out on the quilt. We're going to be cutting out on the big cutting tables today because this quilt is big, and I have 2 quilts. One I'm going to use for the bodice and the other one I'm going to use for the skirt. Sometimes these quilt jackets can take more fabric than you think, especially if you want to match up the prints or the designs. So you might want certain quilt patterns in certain areas. So be aware of the patterns and the prints on your quilt when you're cutting it out. So let's do it. Let's cut out this jacket. And it is a little scary cutting into this quilt because there's no going back. There's no going to the store and buying more yardage. This is it. Before I start cutting, I want to mention, if you are looking to match up prints to make them symmetrical on both sides of you, cut out one at a time. Cut out one and then go ahead and flip it over and line it up with the other side. So I'm heating up the pot to be above 140 degrees. And then we're gonna add a cup of salt, and then we're gonna add a teaspoon of detergent. So now we have all of these pieces that I surged up, and it's time to get them soaking wet. So that way when we put them in the dye pot, they're gonna take the dye evenly. Okay, we are all wet and we are ready to start dyeing. I just added my salt and now I'm going to add my soap. We put the soap in there because it makes the water wetter. What? That seems weird. We gotta shake it up, shake the dye up. It looks red, but it's gonna give us pink. So my fabric is nice and wet, and I'm gonna do one piece at a time since I already cut out the full jacket, and we are going to test this out. So I'm gonna stir it around. I'm gonna leave it in there for about 2 minutes, and we're gonna see what the color turns out to be. Oh, wow, that is a hot pink red. So now I'm gonna transfer it to this pot over here, and then I'm going to rinse it out in the sink. We definitely are going to have a bright, vibrant jacket. You really want to rinse all of the dye out before you wash it in the wash machine. And then I'm going to set them all over here so that way I can just bring them up all at one time and throw them in the washer. If you're enjoying this video so far, make sure you like and subscribe to Sewing Anastasia. And if you'd like to improve your sewing skills, make sure you check out my online sewing classes. A link for that is down below in the description. I have all of my pieces dyed now. I washed them, I dried them, and we are ready to sew. And I'm so happy with how the dyeing turned out. It is fairly evenly dyed, which can be really hard to do sometimes. But that's also why I cut everything, serged it, and then dyed it. Let's go over all of the pieces that I cut out and dyed. I have my back bodice with my back skirt. And then over here, we have the front bodice with the front skirts. We have our pockets and our pocket flaps. We have our sleeves out here, and then we have our collar. I love the way the dye took this fabric and the thread didn't. It leaves a nice contrast with the pattern and the design on the fabric. Look how beautiful it is. I just love this hue of pink. All right, let's get sewing. My first step is sewing the shoulders together with a 1/2 inch seam allowance and making sure I'm using a straight stitch and a nice secure back stitch, beginning and end. And then I'm going to press open the shoulder seams, and we're going to sew the top of the sleeve into the armhole on both sides. I'm also going to be using a 1/2 inch seam allowance to sew the sleeves in, because that's what I left on my pattern. If you're putting in a fitted sleeve, don't forget to run 2 rows of basting stitches around the top of the sleeve cap, so that way you can cinch it up and fit it into the armhole. You could also use an easing technique, making sure the sleeve is on the bottom and your jacket is on the top, easing the top of the sleeve into the armhole. The shoulders and the top of the sleeves are finished, and it is looking great. It is really taking shape already. Next is attaching the bottom of the jacket to the bodice. So basically what looks like a skirt, we're going to be attaching that to the bodice, back to back and front to front. This here is the back of the bodice with the back of the skirt. So we'll be placing this right sides together and sewing it up at a 1/2 inch. And then we're attaching the front waist of the skirt to the front waist of the bodice. The skirt is on and it is really coming together. Now that the skirt's attached, this is really fun. We get to sew the underarm of the sleeve, the bodice, and the skirt together all in one step. We are just going to keep it nice and straight while we sew it. And the most important part of this is making sure we line up the seams at the underarm and the seams at the waist, and make sure your seam allowances are pressed open because this fabric is thick. Let's go all the way up the side of this jacket. Made it all the way to the bottom of that really long seam. Now I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. The next thing I'm going to do is put my pockets on the jacket, but first I want to add bias binding around all of the edges of the pocket. This is going to make it stand out. It's going to be a really nice finishing detail. So I'm going to add the binding all the way around the pocket flap and all the way around the bottom of the pocket. And if you need help on how to attach bias binding, make sure you check out my video on that. I even have a video on how to create your own bias binding. Links for those will be down below in the description. Now we have the bias binding around the pocket pieces and it looks so nice and pretty. I'm really loving this light pink binding because it matches the light thread in the design here. It really brings out the quilting design. I've decided to place these pockets right over the side seam. I originally wanted them on the front of the jacket, but I no longer do. I didn't think it looked right. So I've put the base of the pocket down and I'm going to sew 3 sides of it with an edge stitch. I'm going to leave the top open so we can get into it. And then what I'm going to do is flip the pocket back. I'm going to sew down these little binding pieces and then I'm going to flip this pocket panel over and then I'm going to give a little edge stitch to the top of the pocket so that way it stays down nice and securely and then it'll allow us to get into our pocket and keep it covered. Now we have both pockets on and it's time to finish some edges. So everywhere I have a serged edge going all the way around my coat, I'm going to be adding bias binding there. So this is going to give us a nice official quilted look because if you look at the edge of a quilt, it totally has bias binding on it. So I have both of the pockets on and all of the bias binding. So let's check it out. I'm loving these pockets right over the side seam. It's really giving the coat a unique shape when you wear it to help it pop out at the sides. And the bias binding right along the hem is giving this coat such a nice high-end look. It also gives a little extra structure to the hem and really pulls together that quilt look. I also have that bias binding going up center front and on the openings of the sleeves. It is looking nice and finished now. We are almost done. Now it's time to do the collar. So I originally cut out 2 collars because I wanted to sew them right sides together and have finished edges. But I'm loving the way the bias binding looks on all of the edges. So I'm just going to be using one of the collar pieces and I'm going to bias bind all of the edges and then we're going to sew it around the neck. This is really going to tie the coat together everywhere with the bias binding. Bias binding is looking great. I have my center of the collar and center of the neck lined up and I'm going to pin this down. I'm just making sure that my bias bound edges are lining up. Now you're going to notice it doesn't go all the way to the front because we don't want it to because it has a bit of a notched collar. There we go. We are all pinned up. I'm going to sew the collar down to the neck right in the existing stitch that's there for the bias binding, trying to match that up. Back stitch and cut. Collar is looking great. I just love these finishes with the bias binding. Now it's time for the last step. We're going to put some buttons down the front of the jacket and on the pockets. For this coat, I really wanted some bright, vibrant statement buttons. So I found these vintage rhinestone buttons in my collection, and I think they're going to be the perfect pop down the center of the coat. And for the pockets, I'm going to be using these vintage seashell buttons. Whenever I'm out antiquing, thrifting, estate sailing, I always check and see if they have buttons because there are some really cool vintage buttons out there. And they can really complete the project that you're working on. So I keep them stored in some mason jars, and when I need some buttons, I go checking in my jars. I'm going to be putting 4 buttons down the front and 1 button on each pocket. And if you need some help putting in buttonholes and hand sewing buttons, make sure you check out my videos on those. Here's our jacket, and it looks incredible. Let's check out some of the details. Look at the detail in the quilted fabric. Remember when this was a white quilt, and now we have this beautiful pink cotton jacket. Look at how amazing all of this stitching detail looks in the sleeve. This is such a high-end runway look, and we were able to create it with a quilt. Imagine how long it would have taken me if I would have hand quilted all of that. Forever. Look at the detail even on the pocket. I centered the pocket so that way the design on the quilt was center for the pockets on the flap and on the pocket bag. I also centered the design on the back of the jacket, so we have this nice quilting stripe going down center back and across the shoulders. I also added a ribbon belt at the waist so that way when I want to cinch it in, I can. And I just love the way the light pink bias binding around the entire coat ties it in, and it also matches the light stitching in the quilting, really making that stand out. Now it's time to try it on. I'm so excited. Here's our coat. Oh my gosh, this feels so awesome on. Thinking that I created it from 2 giant white quilts. We went through such a process to create this coat now, didn't we? We dyed the fabric, we hacked the pattern together, we used 2 quilts that we dyed pink, so cool. We added beautiful details with bias binding, vintage buttons, and a little grosgrain ribbon at the waist. And just like that, we've got a coat that we designed from scratch, but we upcycled because we used 2 quilts. This video was a real sneak peek into the whole design process of a garment, from creating the textile to designing the pattern to ending up with a finished garment. Everybody's design process is a little different, and I love to start with the textiles. I'm always very inspired by the textiles because it really gives the design direction. So what's your design process like? What inspires you? I would love to know. Leave it down below in the comments. Thanks so much for watching Sewing Anastasia today. I hope you decide to make a quilt coat too. If you have any questions on the process, leave it down below and I will get back with you as soon as I can. And if you're not already a subscriber, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you know when the new videos come out. And if you're already a subscriber, thank you so much for watching today. These videos are for you. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, all the social media, so that way we can stay connected and creative together. And don't forget, you can come on into the design studio and take sewing classes with me in person. Link for that is down below. And I also offer online sewing classes now. There will be a link for that down below in the description as well. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.